Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to Dream Queen by Perla'S. So, Sagittarius, Capricorn Cusp for the week of August 10th through the 16th. What do we have? Ooh, something is coming out. Something is being released, something has been released. A lot of you are not exactly sure what is being released at this moment, but you feel it physically in your body. Like you feel, this is gonna sound weird, and again, I'm a little out there, and I know it, and I accept it. I love that about myself. But you know how normally you say, like, when you release something, you feel like a weight being lifted? That's not the way that's not the way that I'm seeing it. Do I really have to? The way that I see it is like, okay, you know, like if you eat something that gets you gassy and like you fart, but it's like until you don't fart, you don't find that released. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that you're farting, but that's kind of like, for those of you that this is going to resonate with, that release that you get from farting or from something coming out from down there is a greater release than when something is lifted off of you. I don't know why. Maybe because this weighing down, I guess, when something is here and is weighing you down, you're able to see it more than when something is inside or lower and you're kind of having a hard time seeing what is pulling you down versus pushing you down. So you're able to identify with what's pushing you down a lot quicker with what is pulling you down. Don't ask me why it's coming up like that, but that's the way that it's coming up. For those of you that say you don't fart, okay, let's say if you're a female, like when you get your period, right? Like when a couple of days before you get your period, you know, and I can talk about like a lot of different experience with my period because I've had a lot of different experiences. So there was one moment in time when before I got my period, and this happened for like about 6 months, I would swell up like a balloon. Like I couldn't wear a bra, I couldn't wear clothes, like I couldn't wear anything. I would retain so much liquid that it almost felt like my body was toxic to itself. And it felt like my body was having an allergic reaction internally to itself. And I would get headaches, I would get fevers, I would get shivers, I would get extreme cramping. And I couldn't function. And it usually would start like 2 to 3 days before my period. And this happened a few years ago. And I remember going to the doctor and trying to find out what was going on. And they couldn't find anything. They did blood work. They did, you know, they were doing ultrasounds. And they were just like, we don't understand like what's going on. Like there's nothing really there. And I get that a lot from a lot of different things that I've experienced, a lot of my personal experiences in life, where I'll be feeling certain symptoms, certain things, and it's not that I'm feeling them for like a day or two. I feel them for months and months and months. And I keep going back to the doctor and they can't find anything, and it's usually something that is connected to my spirituality, my growth, my whatever. But that's just my personal experience, guys. Not saying that if you're feeling something, I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor. That's not what I'm saying, guys. But what I'm saying is, like, I remember when I used to feel that way when my cycle was in that stage where until I actually started bleeding, my body wouldn't feel the release. And even as I was bleeding, I would still feel the tightness, the everything. And I would just have to wait for it to pass, to end, in order to find that release, in order for my body, my nervous system, everything to kind of like calm down. And that's kind of like the release that I'm talking about here that you are experiencing, where something is being released. You may not know exactly at that moment in time what you are releasing, whether it's a thought pattern, whether it's a person, whether it's a behavior, whether it's a habit, an addiction, whatever it is, but something is being released. Don't focus so much on what is being released. Just allow yourself to release. All right. Sometimes I'll be sitting up, right, listening to music, doing some work, doing this, doing that, and all of a sudden I have this rush of like crying. And I was just crying. I'm like, what the fuck was that like? And I'll ask myself, like, what was I releasing? And Spirit would clearly be like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'll have the opposite effect where I'll be working on something and then I just start laughing, like uncontrollably laughing, like where I'm like, Spirit, can you please like tone it down a dial because I'm about to pee myself of how much I'm laughing. And it has, like, I'm not reading anything funny, I'm not doing anything funny, I'm like literally focused on working, and I just burst out and laughed, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And again, Spirit's like, don't worry about it, just go with it. And I'm like, okay, we're just going with it. But it really takes time to get to that place where you can just trust that what has to be released is being released. What is no longer serving you is being released. Even if at that moment in time you're not aware of what that specifically is, it will become clear to you when it's meant to. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out 3 oracle cards. Now these can be confirmations to the reading, confirmation to something that didn't come out in the reading, or simply your advice for this week. So allow yourself the pleasure of releasing, however it is that that release is coming for you. So just 3 cards, Spirit. So 3. So we have birthing a new age, birthing a new creation, dreaming a new world into being. A lot of you have been getting this card. The second card we have is align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? And again, a lot of this is going to happen in the sense of releasing without really knowing what it is that you're releasing. And for some of you, that alignment comes in from trusting that whatever has to be released is being released. That you don't have to know every little detail, because when you overthink or when you try to overanalyze certain situations, it can bring you out of alignment and it can bring you into that space, and all you do is overthink. Inner temper, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So instead of focusing as to why something is happening internally, that release, allow yourself to connect to your heart and to be like, wow, that felt amazing. Wow, that is like, I just feel, it's almost like this inner peace, this serenity type of energy that you feel once whatever it is specifically for you that is being released, but it's not being revealed to you what is being released. It's one of those things, right? One of those things where you fully have to just trust the process, and not just say that you trust it. Well, guys, that is all I have for you for this week. As always, thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. Thank you to all of those that have been donating. It is greatly appreciated. And if you have not liked, share, or subscribed, I encourage you to do so. It helps with growing the channel, getting the video out there for more people, as well as keeping me accountable. For personal readings, all that information can be found down below in the description. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing. Guys, take care. Mwah, I love you all. Bye-bye.